Elon Musk began this year as the richest man in the world with a net worth of $433.9 billion. His net worth has fallen quite drastically. It's now at $340 billion. So he's lost about $90 billion in 3 months. It's substantial. He's still the richest man in the world, but this loss in net worth is largely being attributed to problems within Tesla and a drop in Tesla's stock, and of course his issues in government. And it's indicative really of everything that's going on with Elon Musk right now, which is why we're asking the question in this video, is everything okay with Elon Musk? Now, before we get started, remember, like, share, subscribe, and share this video with anyone you think will find it useful, and sign up for our membership if you can. To begin with, let's look at what's happening right now with Tesla, right? According to a Reuters report that came out yesterday, investors of Tesla are sort of like wincing and bracing for really bad vehicle delivery numbers for the first quarter, because they're expecting the backlash against Elon Musk to further weaken demand for the electric vehicle. Now, on the 25th of March, there was a report that said that new Tesla registrations in Europe have fallen from 37,000, where it was last year, to 19,000 this year for the first 2 months of the year. This is according to the European Automobile Manufacturers Association. Now, Tesla's European sales for January and February have fallen 49%, so nearly 50%. And here's the interesting thing. The registration of electric vehicles in Europe has actually gone up, but Tesla's sales have gone down 50%. And so if Europe is continuing to buy electric vehicles, they're just not buying Tesla. Why? So what are they buying? Well, BYD. Now, BYD has disrupted the Chinese EV market, which is a massive market even for Tesla. But it's also seeming really interesting to the rest of the world right now because it's come up with a new battery technology. Now, BYD's stock price has hit an all-time high this month because it has unveiled a new technology that will allow apparently a vehicle to travel 470 kilometers with 5 minutes of charging. And this is a massive disruption in the EV market. And the fact that also it has EVs and plug-in hybrids at a fraction of the cost of what Tesla is charging really changes the game completely. Apparently, the entry-level BYD, which starts at $10,000 in China, Tesla's Model 3, which is the cheapest model, is $32,000. So that's the price difference, really. So BYD is not the only Chinese competitor that's eating into Tesla's market in Europe. Apparently, according to the numbers, while Tesla's sales have fallen 44% in February, all the Chinese brands combined have gone up 82%. Now, this is according to JATO, which analyzes auto market data. And one of the analysts have said this is partly because there's a gap in Tesla's overhaul of its best-selling Model Y, the letter Y, not Y. Best-selling Model Y, because there's a general feel among those who track the auto sector that Tesla has not come up with any new innovation. Its models are looking dated. It doesn't have there's nothing new really to offer the customer, whereas the Chinese brands are bringing in new things all the time. But also a large portion of this slide, which cannot be ignored and is being acknowledged by analysts, is Musk's support in politics for far-right groups, specifically in Europe, for the German party that's been accused of supporting Nazis. Now, in Germany specifically, which is Europe's biggest car market, Tesla sales came down 75% last month. Now, that's what's happening in Europe. Back home, there was more bad news for Tesla because members of the board started selling stock. The first of which was Kimball Musk, Elon Musk's own brother, who has sold $27 million worth of stock. A Reuters report earlier this month said the chairperson of Tesla, Robin Denham, has sold $33.7 million in stock this month and $43.2 million in stock the last month. Also, another board member, James Murdoch, has sold $13 million, and CFO Webb of Tanisha has sold $5 million. So that's making investors sort of raise their eyebrows saying, what do these guys know that we don't know? It's led to longtime Tesla investor Ross Gerber to publicly call for Elon Musk to step down as CEO, arguing that his attention has now been divided because of his White House role, right? So there's no question that Musk is committed to his job, Gerber says. He used to be a really bullish investor in Tesla. He says, He is spending time in government and he's not running Tesla. And I think Tesla needs a new CEO. The business has been neglected for too long, end quote. Now, apart from that, Tesla has faced attacks all over the world, but specifically in the US. One person on the 9th of March dressed in black, set fire to several Tesla vehicles in Los Angeles. And police departments across the US are investigating a wave of attacks on showrooms and charging stations and vehicles belonging to Tesla. Apart from that, the Cybertruck, which is their larger vehicle, has been recalled in the US because of issues that they had with a portion of the trim falling off and running the risk of causing accidents. Now, the issue has affected 46,000 trucks starting November 2023, and analysts say that's all the trucks that were sold. Apart from this, before this issue, they had windshield wiper issues, trapped accelerator pedals, the possible loss of drive power to wheels. So there have been several issues with the Cybertruck as well that has not gone in their favor. This is where Tesla is sitting right now, and that's going to cause Elon Musk some sleepless nights. But before I go further, I want to pause a little bit and tell you the story of Tesla and why it's important, because it's easy for us to forget. Now, Tesla started about 20 years ago. It was a Silicon Valley startup, a handful of employees, and they really meant to revolutionize the motor industry. It's now, of course, a massive giant of electric vehicles, but we must remember that there was a time when, if you remember Top Gear, right? Top Gear called electric vehicles slow and uninspiring and impractical. And the charging was not impressive. You had to keep charging it, and it didn't make any sound. It didn't have any sort of personality. Tesla was widely credited for proving that electric vehicles could be fast and powerful and fun and practical. And Musk became the figurehead of the company. Now, he joined the company and he took over in 2004 as chairperson and principal funder and became CEO 4 years later. Now, when in 2012 Tesla's Model S came onto the field, it had a sports car performance, it had a range of 250 miles, and it changed the way everyone across the world thinks of electric vehicles. Tesla now is also looking, largely investing into automated driving, robo-taxis, energy storage business. It's looking at a humanoid robot called Optimus. So there's a lot of businesses that it's in right now. But really the important thing to remember about this business is Musk sort of placed himself in a Steve Jobs role, which is not just the CEO, but also the embodiment of the brand, where he made himself the brand. And so his beliefs and his ideas and his political, convictions have now begun to rub off on the brand as well. So until recently, this was a champion brand for sustainability. And now it has become a champion brand for right-wing ideas. And there's a reason why there's a clash in this. And this is the important bit. So I want to take a minute here. The biggest markets for Tesla in the US is California. The state of California, which is a blue state, a very liberal state, it's known for its liberal ideas, and it was the biggest market for Tesla. And now where Musk is standing and the things that he regularly says politically puts him completely at loggerheads with the ideas of a large population of the state of California. The other markets that are really important for Tesla are New York and Washington, both strongly Democratic. Now, they also have Florida and Texas, but really these three markets added together become massive. Now, Donald Trump, as president, decided to do a show of support and actually for the first time endorsed a product on the lawns of the White House and said, buy this car, I will also buy this car, it's amazing. But one doesn't know how much of a change that will make to the very blue, very liberal states, which would normally have bought the car. I mean, think about it. Who believes in sustainability and environment and let's not drill a lot of oil? It tends to be people with liberal ideas. Whereas the people who are conservative in America have always believed, or mostly believed, drill baby drill. So they're not those who tend to go in for electric vehicles. So there has been a sort of mismatch of ideas here where the brand of Elon Musk clashing with the brand of Tesla. In fact, Kevin Thompson, finance expert and the founder of Nine Eye Capital Group, has said, and I'm quoting him, Tesla has been taking a hit in the US partly due to Elon's involvement with the Trump administration, which isn't sitting well in the company's largely liberal customer base. expected to continue to decline in the American market, he says. So the political backlash from Musk's recent forays in the US and around the world have weighed very heavily on Tesla. He's actually made a statement recently. Musk has said, it's costing me a lot to do this job. They're trying to put a massive pressure on me and put pressure on Tesla, I guess, to stop doing this. My Tesla stock and the stock of everyone who holds Tesla is gone roughly in half, and that's a big deal. But his political views are not just hurting in the US. Remember, it's also hurting in Europe. The key market for Tesla is Germany. With its gigafactory in Berlin, Germany also serves as a hub for European exports. And like I said, that support for far-right groups in Germany hurt Tesla in that country. United Kingdom is a massive, is a market for Tesla. Norway and Netherlands are smaller in size, but also big EV penetration. So his sort of meddling, if we call it, let's call it intervening. That's a nicer word. Meddling or intervening in politics abroad, where he's launched online attacks on British politicians, including the Prime Minister. He supported far-right parties in Germany's parliamentary elections. A lot of his customer base that tends to be liberal do not agree with him. And we've seen protests outside Tesla dealerships in Canada, in UK, in Germany, in Portugal. Although most of them have been peaceful, there have been some stray incidents in France and Germany where cars were also set on fire and vandalized. So effectively, Tesla is facing pushback from its liberal customer base across the world. In China specifically, which is a large market for Tesla's Chinese-made cars, there are actually Chinese brands that are doing better. So they've chewed up that market as well. Now, this is Tesla related, but Elon Musk has had other issues outside of Tesla. For example, his chief engineer at X, formerly Twitter, has resigned. A Manhattan federal judge has now allowed for claims to be filed against him in a securities fraud case, alleging that he manipulated the Twitter stock price before he took it over. And that could actually add up to a very expensive court case for him. And there's a general view that he's got too many things going on. Remember, he's got SpaceX, he's got XAI, which is an AI platform, he's got Twitter or X, and he's got the Starship rocket. He's got a lot going on. In a recent interview with Fox Business, he said, where he was asked, how are you combining all of this with your government role? He said, and I'm quoting, with great difficulty. So he is in a difficult position right now, but he remains Tesla's largest single shareholder, holding 13% stake at $95 billion. If we look at what he's doing with government and Dodge, for example, addressing employees in Austin earlier this month, on the 30th of March, he said, I'm spread too thin. I have 17 jobs. He said, acknowledging that pressure and the multiple lawsuits that department is facing because people are accusing him of overstepping within government and violating privacy laws. There was also a recent survey that CNN published that said that only 35% of Americans believe that Musk has, have a positive view of Musk. 53% rate him negatively. 6 out of 10 Americans believe he has neither got the right experience nor the right judgment to make the changes that he is making right now in the way that government works. Now, the most interesting thing that I read about him, this was in Politico on the 31st of March. It said Donald Trump hinted that Musk may have to go back to running his companies full-time fairly soon. This is what it quotes him to say. I think he's amazing, but I also think he's got a big company to run. So at some point he's going to have to go back. He wants to. I'd keep him for as long as I can, as I could keep him. So Trump apparently, who's currently a temporary government employee with a 130-day cap, will run out actually at the end of May, but a lot of the White House voices are saying that it may be extended and he may be kept on longer. And while I've listed all of these things that are possibly keeping him up at night, he's got a lot of stuff going on in his personal life, with his daughter, but that's not the kind of work that I do, so I'm not going to delve into his personal life. In conclusion, effectively, is juggling under immense pressure a lot of very varied jobs, and it's leaking one to the other. Perhaps something he didn't fully think through. The view of being a tech CEO and a political figure and a champion of, sustainability and electric vehicles, and someone people looked up to as an extremely intelligent man. We do live in a world that currently looks up to billionaires. So he does seem to be cracking on various fronts, and there may come a point where Musk is forced to choose which of these various avatars he loves the most and which one he wants to hang on to the most. But for now, Tesla's market performance and his own political views seem to be at loggerheads with each other, and there's a lot going on with Elon Musk that's not so great. Leave me a comment if you believe that Elon Musk can pull this off, if he's on the right track with what he's doing with government and government efficiency, and if you believe that Tesla's customer base will in some way reconcile the fact that maybe the technology is different from the person.